SimX Defense Core ammunition, is it any good? Thanks to a generous patron, we'll be taking a look. Coming up next on I first saw this SimX brand at SHOT Show a couple years ago, and at that SHOT Show and every subsequent show where I saw them, they said they were really excited about being on the channel and wanted to send some ammunition. Then they didn't. I've replied to emails, marketing emails, etc., and nothing ever came. Fortunately, here on GB Guns, we've got some great patrons, and I was generously donated a couple boxes of these. When I looked it up, just because it had been a few years, I wrote them off. I figure if a company's not going to follow through on their promises in word, how do I trust the product? So I had kind of ignored them for a while, but looking it up, I saw that the price has come down significantly on these. So it might be an alternative to my personal favorite, Liberty Ammunition Civil Defense. I say that because, as you can see the advertised specs here, we've got a 45 grain bullet, advertised velocity of 2250, producing 505 foot-pounds of energy. Now with Liberty Ammunition, a similar thing is accomplished. This is not labeled as plus P. You ever notice that these boxes always want to open on one end but not on the other? In the calculation of energy, bullet speed is more important than bullet mass. And so when you go lighter, you can go faster. And I can't get this stinking box open. All right, just a minute. So with a lighter bullet, you can go faster and produce more energy. One thing that I found interesting, and I'll zoom in and take a look at this, is this appears to either have a copper wash or maybe just be a light layer of copper on the outside. Now the stuff that I saw at SHOT Show, their initial release, looked a lot like Liberty Ammunition in that it was a fragmenting bullet in gel. The interior of this, it's really hard to see. Maybe it does that, maybe it doesn't. I'm not going to do a gel test because no matter how you do a gel test, there's always easy ways to argue against it. And the most important thing for me is energy delivery. So do we get 505 foot-pounds of energy and 2,250 feet per second out of this? There's an asterisk on there. I'm not seeing a label as to what barrel length they tested, but we're going to hit the range with this, and it says plus P power. There it is. Small font on the end, but it's not anywhere on the main labeling. That's kind of risky if you don't have a firearm ready for plus P. But we're going to chronograph it through a couple common barrel lengths and see what kind of speed and energy we get. Let's hit the range. All right, at the range now with the SimX and a few different barrels. I've got the SAR 9 SC representing the 3.1 inch, 3 inch micro compact-ish group because it's so popular. Even though the barrel isn't effectively that long, it's backboard remembered and ported. The Canik MC9 Mete Prime. I'm curious if with this extra pressure, what kind of compensation we might feel from that, and you guys will have the 90-degree view of it. Got the TSOSH PX9 Gen 3 Duty Comp with its chunk ported barrel. Again, with the extra pressure, are we going to feel a difference? And does this hyper ammo help compensate, or rather not lose as much with those chunk ports? That's what we'll be seeing. For 4 inch, we've got the Ross Martin. This is the RM1C. And then of course you got to do a 5 inch. So the Ground Power Mark 23 Excalibur Match CO. If things go well through here, I might be giving it a try through my winter carry gun, the Bull Armory TAC. Reason being is I prefer Liberty Ammunition. I use it in my ultralight, and the ultralight likes it as my summer gun. However, I found that for whatever reason, my EDC doesn't like it. The group was all over the place. Maybe it was too much velocity. I ran some HSTs through it, 124 grain. Of course, those did well, but we all know 124 grain doesn't hit as hard as Liberty Ammunition. And if you're going to hit hard. So if this stuff runs in these guns, I'll give it a try through my winter carry. Maybe it'll become my winter carry ammo. As always, all of the actual hard number data math chart comparison stuff will be in the pinned comment over on my website, so I can post that stuff freely and not make the video too boring. But I filmed this stuff so you can see that the data is real, and from that 90-degree view, maybe you'll see some interesting things with recoil impulses. I've not shot this ammo before at all, starting off on the shortest barrel, which is the hardest one to group well. 7 yards back. Let's see how we do. Got this trigger is not great for doing a slow pull. 2025. 1983. 1960. 1973. 1958. A little bit slower, as expected. And of course, interesting coincidence that those slow rounds ended up impacting differently, but that could have been me. Now, the Canik MC9 Prime, got an O sight. What model is this? K on here. $2036. 2013, and what I'm really curious about this, remember guys, to watch if the port is doing more for us because of this extra pressure. Sure feels like it to me. 2014, 2038, and 1979. Stepping up to roughly 4 inches, but backboard and ported the PX9 Duty Comp. This is the O-Sight C. Yes, I have a lot of O-Sights. I've really been impressed with them. 2095. 2061. 2045, 2039, 2031. Again with random flyer, but the rest of them stacked pretty well. Haven't seen 22, what did they say again? 2250 plus yet. Here's a 4-inch barrel. This is Sammy spec. At least what 9mm is supposed to be loaded to or tested with. Is closing off that port going to give us another 170 feet per second. Let's see. $2,084. 2114. 2081. 2046. 2058. Well, I guess this does show us that on, at least with this ammunition, you're not losing much with that port that's on the TSOSH. It also shows us we're not getting this velocity. We've got the 5-inch yet to go, and I must say I am at about 300 foot elevation. That makes a big difference in ammunition because of the air density. Maybe they did their testing on the moon. I don't know. But let's reset and set it for the 5-inch. All right. This is about as long as is reasonable for a 9mm handgun, although I don't know. In fact, please comment below if you'd ever carry a 5-inch 9mm. 4 1/4 is about where I like to carry. But we're going to give it a try with the Ground Power Excalibur Match, which has a step chamber and some of the finest rifling and most precise bore I've ever heard of being done in a handgun. That's just Ground Power's way of doing things. But let's see, with a 5-inch, are we going to get 2250 plus? We need some more dot. There we go. 2162.
2167, 2169, 2181, 2151. So not quite there on speed as, at least as advertised. This may be part of why SimX said, yeah, we'd love to be on the channel, and then backed out. Thank you to the patron for getting us some anyways. Are the numbers still impressive? I don't know yet. I haven't done the math. You've maybe seen them on screen. I'll do full charts and all of that and show more over on my website, because the energy may still be impressive. I don't deny that. I don't calculate that stuff in my head. Let me know what your thoughts are on the SimX. Yeah, there's some more comparisons that I'm going to do. I'm looking at this as a fan of Liberty Ammunition to see if it's a budget alternative, I guess you could say, now that the price on SimX has come down so much. Interesting. Thanks for watching.